Welcome to Your Money with Leo Daprile. I'm Leo Daprile, and each week on AM 570, Dan Rivers and I will talk about anything and everything to do with your money. If you ever have questions, please feel free to call me at 330-533-6936, or you can email me at leo@gemyoung.com. Enjoy the show.
This episode of Your Money with Leo Daprile is sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Leo Daprile has joined us. This segment is brought to you by Gem Young Wealth Advisors, and they're in Canfield. Leo, how are you doing?
Good, Dan. Good morning.
Let's talk a little bit about the economy, and let's start with the debt limit standoff. So they've got this debt limit. It's inevitable, right, that they will raise the debt limit one way or another.
They have to.
It's the dance, right?
That's right.
And right now, the Democrats, they would like to have a few Republicans join them so it's not 50 plus 1.
That's correct.
And it looks to me like we are so divided that, why would you? And, here's the other thing, too. If you raise this debt limit, that just means that they may be able to put this monstrosity of a budget forward, right?
Well, that's why I think there's the pushback right now, because they don't want that $4.5 trillion to just flow over because they arbitrarily raised it, which is part of the end game.
Yeah.
And then the question then becomes well, what does this mean for you and your money at the end of the day? With this, because political posturing's one thing.
By the way, I went to the ATM last night. My money's still okay today. So for what it means, I still have a little bit of it, but that's what we worry about is we bring it down to a personal level, right?
That's right. Well, and I think they've done this so much. I think this is what, if they do not pass this will be the 14th time this has happened. If my numbers are correct on that, it's 12 or 14. But anyhow, it's almost to the point where people are beginning to look at it like, here we go again.
Right, because if I'm if I'm a member of the Washington bureaucracy, I'm rooting for them not to pass it because I'm going to get a free vacation because they're going to give me back pay.
That's right.
Right? You're going to go home and there's going to be military people. They're going to be told to stay home because there's no money to pay for them. But then a couple of months later, we'll go back and we'll say we're going to retroactively pay those people.
Right. And then we'll have all that. That's a good point you're bringing up, because now we have that lost economic productivity that the shutdown creates.
Right.
Because I don't know how many, is it 400,000 government employees?
Yeah.
That's furloughing 400,000 people.
I say yes, I don't know. How many did you say, 400,000?
Yeah, around 400,000, I would say, would be a fair estimate on that.
Yeah.
So, like you said, if you're giving them an unintended paid vacation, that's 400,000 people not in the economic cycle for that time. That's going to have an economic impact.
And right now you're having a hard time finding people anyway, and it's going to make it worse. How about these, I just call them useful idiots, that they're going to fire nurses because they are not getting vaccinated, and they can't get nurses. Now, that's going to have a bad ending, isn't it? Did you see that?
Yes.
They're actually, some hospitals are going to say, you can't work here any longer, and the nurses out there can write their own ticket already.
Well, it's a power grab, quite frankly, and with a lot of the politicians that I'm seeing, and that's what concerns me more than anything. It's the government starting to impose more will on people to their detriment. I got the shot. I believe the science. I believe in that, but I also respect somebody's right not to get a shot. You shouldn't prevent them from working because of that.
And on the other hand, nurses that have been around this have been exposed to it. They may have had COVID and didn't know it. They may have antibodies, but they're going with one size fit all. You get the shot or you're not working here.
I'm with you. I think it's ridiculous.
And they're going to shoot themselves in the foot. They're doing this with some of the people in the military. Now, the military, I see it a little bit different, because you sign a contract when you're in the military, and you're pretty much, that's going to be your mom and dad. They're going to tell you what to do. You go down, and there was no choice on whether or not you were inoculated for disease that would be in foreign countries. You get your shots. They don't want you sick.
Okay.
So you're basically, if you want that shot, if you want to be in the military, and some of us didn't necessarily want to be in the military, but we were there. But you knew that to disobey, you could be court-martialed or worse.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, that's a whole different set of facts and circumstances.
Yeah.
It's not just being overseas and what you're exposed to.
Right.
But what you could do if you're in that situation, exposing everybody around you, you could cripple.
So the Fed is still buying Treasury securities, right?
They still are. Sure.
So, and that's an open market, okay? And what are they paying for them right now?
The 10-year Treasury yield actually went up yesterday to 1.5%.
Okay.
Which is why you're seeing a lot of these growth stocks go down in value, because they're looking at rising interest rates affecting their future profitability.
So people could be running to something else, besides the growth stocks.
Well, when you hear yields going up, that means prices are going down.
Okay.
Because they're beginning to expect that the Fed will raise interest rates sooner rather than later. So they're trying to get some parity to what the current debt is and what the current interest rate is, or the current yields are on the current debt.
Okay. The last time we did this was in August of 2019, raise the debt ceiling, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And how much is this something that we've never not done it, right?
That's correct.
So people know that it's inevitable.
Well, that's why if you look at your money and what your investments have been this past week, we all know it's coming to the end. We all know they're gonna not get the deal done by September 30th. We all know they're going to get something done. So the markets really are not moving because they've been down this road so much that there's really been no negative impact on the stock market because of this. They know that even if we go through this, and they know even if they shut the government down, even for weeks at a time, there's still going to be, to your point, all that money that people haven't been paid, they will be repaid. And now that's actually another economic stimulus back into the system.
So what's really happening is that we're going to raise this debt limit here, and the stock market says, well, we don't believe you're not going to raise it. You're going to raise this debt limit. It's going to go up. So now it's the dance in that the conservatives are essentially trying to exact some compromise before a couple of them join the Democrats.
That's how I'm reading it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You got it.
Yep. Because right now, the way things are sitting, like I said, no one's expecting anything to move one way or the other. Yesterday we had a pretty good day on the Dow. The NASDAQ didn't. And the reason we did is more of the core manufacturing and mining stocks, they're just chugging along. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be what economic data supports what's going on. And even if there's a government shutdown, whether it's 2 days or 5 weeks, no one's expecting that economic engine to stop churning.
So you don't see anything that would cause people to change their portfolios at this point?
I don't, and I don't like to react to headline news. And right now, this is headline news to me.
Okay.
The only way it's not headline news, and this is the risk. The risk is that this does really go on a long time, and that line really gets drawn in the sand where somebody's really, one side or the other really is forcing an agenda so hard they're willing to risk the credit worthiness of the country.
All right, I want to ask you about digital currency because I didn't see this coming. There's a twist on the digital currency, but tell folks a little bit about your company.
That's right. Gem Young Insurance and Financial Services. On our wealth management side, we specialize in helping individuals aspire to a work optional lifestyle. We've developed processes that we've refined over time to help people get there. We start all of our engagements with what we call a fit meeting. We sit down and get to know each other. We make no decisions. We talk about our approach to financial planning. We talk about what it is they're wanting out of a planner. We want to make sure that we can provide what they're looking for. We talk about what's important to them. And then we let everything sit for a couple of days, let them go home, think about it. We think about it because we want to make sure whoever we're bringing on as a client fits our profile too. We want to believe that we can help them and we're a right fit for them too. And that's when we just start the process, the financial planning process.
Right. Right. So that's one of the things that Leo has done over the years is try to have customers that are like-minded because he's going to delve deep into your personality and see what that work optional lifestyle would be like for you. And you'll find them when you search Gem Young and your phone number.
You can call me at 330-533-6936 or you can email me at leo@gemyoung.com.
All right. Sounds good. In the words of Yakov Smirnoff years ago, what a country. A work optional lifestyle. Have you ever really delved into that and asked people, would they prefer to work or would they prefer to just laze around?
We have these conversations all the time. That's a great question, Dan. I actually don't like the word retirement because retirement the word itself has a sense of finality to it. But a lot of times with my clients.
Unless you're an athlete.
Yeah, right. You can't do it anymore. But we talk about disengaging from your current profession. Because just behaviorally, it's just a different way of looking at it. Because a lot of people don't want to retire from the workforce, but they're tired of doing this. They may have done this for 30 or 40 years, but they still want to be a contributing member to society. So they want to position themselves so that they have that choice of what motivates them to put their feet on the ground in the morning. They're actually a lot of fun conversations.
Yeah, I mean, really, and then you open yourself up to finding maybe something else that you've always wanted to do, but you didn't have. That'd be me, right? Mm-hmm. I've never really looked at other things that I might do because I've always done this. And, you think about this. Sometimes you have to give yourself a chance to find out what is that next thing you'd like to do, right?
And that's a great point, because sometimes what we do is we help people get off the treadmill of their life.
Yep.
Because we become very down in the weeds with our life that we don't. So sometimes we're just lifting them above the weeds to say, okay, start thinking broader. If we could take money off the table, what's your life look like? Because it's not just about money, because when we have these kind of conversations, they're more about, okay, if it becomes quality of life, then it becomes a healthier retirement, then it becomes a longer retirement. So there's so many pieces and parts that play into that, and that keeps people engaged.
I wonder how that would work, though, because over the weekend I went to Columbus and I helped my son repair a deck, and we had to fit that in on Sunday because I was covering the YSU Penguins, and I'm on the sidelines for the Penguins. And Cheryl and I went down and helped out Brent on Sunday. I wonder if I had all the time in the world, if I would be as efficient. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you have more, you fill up that vacuum, don't you?
Busy people get things done.
Yeah, because you think about this. Well, my dad my dad was great. There was nobody that could relax like my father. My brother and I were at the home one day. My dad used to take off 3 weeks in the summer from time to time and paint the house. He had his 3 weeks vacation, take them all at once. And we were both out of the house then, and my mom was on him, kind of like to get the house painted. And he went out and he set up a small scaffolding, and he got the paint out, and he got the brushes out, and everything was sitting out there. And the next thing you know, Dad is in the house and he's reading the newspaper.
That's a great story.
And my brother said, "I thought you were going to paint the house." And he said, "Well, I don't have to do it all in one day." Right?
That's right.
Yeah. Take your time. Some people can do that. All right. Before you go, I wanted to ask you about this. I didn't see this coming, but the central bank is now thinking about digital currency?
Yeah, that's a natural evolution that a lot of countries are considering now. A digital currency is not Bitcoin. It's not cryptocurrency.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No, and a lot of people are confusing those two, but I mean, we kind of have, because the basis of our financial system is still paper money. Mm-hmm. So even though we function and move around in an electronic world, the core is still the paper money. So the Fed's been exploring options on how do we truly have a digital currency? How do we convert what we have in paper to being mostly a digital world? I think we have it now in a bunch of patchwork.
Yeah,
but we don't.
You can transfer money.
Yes,
but you're saying the next level would be what?
The digital process of managing money matters more than the cash that's in your pocket.
Okay. All right.
Right. Look at it as the eventual elimination of cash.
I didn't see that coming from you, because I was thinking when they were saying digital currency, I thought they were going to compete with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is trying to have a different currency.
That's correct.
But the feds that's not on their agenda.
No, this is just an electronic order flow, complete order flow of your money.
All right. Very good. Your information again, and I'm going to run.
You got it. You can call me at 330-533-6936 or email me at leo@gemyoung.com.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that little bell for notifications. And also make sure to connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. For all of your business news, visit businessjournaldaily.com. For all of your arts and entertainment news, go to afterhoursyoungstown.com.